Hello anybody, I'm Don Polec and welcome to another edition of the History of My World, where we look back at some of the fun stories and memorable moments I've shared with you on the evening news. And I always enjoyed doing stories about people who had unique talents, one-of-a-kind skills, which is exactly why I did this story here, although got a little bit more than I bargained for, as you'll soon see. He can look back on memories of an international showbiz career that spans almost 7 decades and is based on a singular and unique talent that is obvious to visitors just by looking into John Leather's eyes. That can do what no other pair of eyes in the world can do. Not anybody he's been able to find, at least.
And I've been looking now for the past 70 years. I've been to some eye specialists, and they said it's impossible for a man to move one eye only. See, if one goes that way, they both go that way, see? But with me, not with me. See, I get them both that way and all of a sudden I'll stop one. Like that, you see, one there, and bring it back. See, it gives you an idea.
A skill that has landed him in the pages of Ripley's Believe It or Not and in research facilities of various medical specialists all the way to King George V's personal physician back in the 30s.
So he says to me, my God, he said, would you care to come down to the Moorfield Eye Hospital and we'll take a motion picture of your eyes. So now my eyes are down in the history books along with Sir Winston Churchill.
Today, living a relaxed retirement in his Juniata Park home, John Leather can look back, literally and figuratively, at a career that ranged from performing as a clown in the Ice Valleys to London stage shows and stints with Barnum and Bailey Circus.
He put me in there to show my eyes. That's where I met James Stewart, Joan Crawford, Betty Davis, Burton. I've met the whole lot. See, in my travels.
And not one of them could do what you did with your...
Well, there's nobody in the world can do it, you see.
A skill that has touched every aspect of his life and even today continues to impart a handy influence in everyday matters.
When I go to a tennis match, I don't have to turn my head. I follow the ball. Back, right. Back, right.
I'm Don Polec, Channel 6 Action News. So there you go. The only person in the world who could do that. Something that I found out was not entirely accurate, and so much so that 2 weeks later we had to put on this report. When we first introduced you to a man named John Leather in a recent report, we thought his story was rather unique. After all, his claim to fame as the only man able to independently control each eye led to a place in the pages of Ripley's Believe It or Not, as well as a 7-decade stage career where he met many showbiz celebrities.
I've met the whole lot. See, in my travels.
And not one of them could do what you did with your...
Well, there's nobody in the world can do it.
Well, after that story recently aired, a number of people from all across the Delaware Valley called up who disagreed with that. People like Victoria Ward, an accountant in King of Prussia, Mary Canzano, a working mother from Pensacola, Drexel Hill grade school teacher Paige Kelty, people whose reaction to our report was pretty much the same as the reactions they generate in people.
I was amazed. I said, I can do that. I can do this.
I said, he's making money at this, and I'm doing something wrong. I don't need to be a CPA. I can make some money doing circus girl acts.
Must be a special gene, just like I can touch my tongue to my nose. Must be a special gene.
Look at that. An ocular trait, however, that ophthalmologist Joseph Calhoun at Wills Eye Hospital suggests is not as rare as it might seem.
I don't think that's genetic. If you practiced it and somebody paid you enough money or whatever, you could probably do it also. You could learn to do that just by looking up close. Your eyes turn in and you could practice that.
You practice because it's neat to freak people out like that. I've been doing it all my life.
Didn't your mother tell you, your eyes will stick like that if you do, if you...
My mom did say that. Yes, she did.
There's no truth to that. And there's no truth to that, so cross your eyes all you want to. So I don't know if there's much market for it now.
But hey, like we told you, John Leather did all right by it in the long haul, and with practice, there's no telling where it might lead. I'm Don Polec with your career tip for the day. So there you have it. I think the best thing to come out of that report was finally we had authoritative confirmation that your eyes are not going to stick like this if you make that face, just like our mothers told us all the time. You know how much stress this would have relieved when I was a child? Thank goodness we've dispelled that myth. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this story and you'd like to see more from the history of my world, why don't you check out my YouTube channel, Don Polec's World TV, and hit subscribe. You'll have a lot of fun. And in the meantime, I'll bring you more stories from the history of my world. And until then, I'm Don Polec. I'll see you next time.